And we are live. Wow. Okay, my hair's a mess. When I just looked in the camera and we were just about to go live. I'm only 30 seconds late. So woohoo. Um okay. I think on our first live stream we started right on time. But I need to start Facebook now, who are gonna be a minute behind. Let me hurry and fix that. Mm. Let's hurry. Whoops. It's hard to start both live streams at the same time. Normally, what I did on the first live stream is I had them both ready to just go live. I just had to push go live on one and go live on the other. And, well, when I'm getting ready to set up, I only set up the YouTube one, and then I'm like, oh, shoot, I still have to go to Facebook, and it's 6:50. All right. Go live. Okay, we're getting there. What the heck is this? Oh, okay. I just had a Facebook notification. Let's see. Here we go. And we are live on Facebook. Okay, so Facebook people, I'm sorry you're 2 minutes late. But on YouTube, I was only 30 seconds late. So haha, good for YouTube. Where did there we go. I was like, where did my camera go so I can see myself? Okay, so yeah, for Facebook people, I started only 30 seconds late on YouTube. What's interesting is when we did the first live stream, I was able to just go live on both of them. I had them both set up, and then I just went live, with only one of you being a few seconds behind, or a few seconds late. So, so now it's like I get ready to set up YouTube, and I keep forgetting I have to go to Facebook. And you think I would stop forgetting by now, but after a whole season later, I'm still forgetting. And so I get YouTube ready to start at 6:50, and then I'm like, oh no, I still have to get Facebook set up. So anyway, but it's not. We've had worse. Remember, we had to start at 7:30 one time. We've had worse. Sometimes we start at 7:10 or 7:05, but we're gonna try to start on time tonight. So a lot of times we even start at 6:50, but I keep talking past 7. So we'll make sure we start the show at 7. But welcome to our live stream. It's been a week. Yeah, we'll just give people time to jump on, I guess, and then we'll get started. So I don't know if you read my post this past week, but we are going to be introduced to an all new character. I should have mentioned this last week as a hint. He's not at the very beginning of season 2, but he was in the Comic-Con trailer, and people had to wait 3 episodes to see him. And that's what we had to do, is we watched the first 3 episodes of season 2 last week, and we just barely missed him because we only do 3 episodes a week. So yeah, with that said, we're finally going to be introduced to an all new character. I don't know if you know how television works, but you know how you have the main cast that stay with the show for the entire thing, and then you have people who just come and go, the guest stars, as you call them. So what's interesting about Once Upon a Time is that there are main characters, but as the show goes on, they switch out who the main characters are. Not really, but it's mostly the same main cast. But this character we're about to be introduced to stays on the show until the very end. So there are some main characters that don't show up at the very beginning, where the pilot is and the whole first season is with the curse. There's a bunch of characters that don't show up in the first season, but when they do show up in seasons 2 and 3, the writers are like, no, let's keep them on the show as a main character until the show ends. And so, anyway, they start out as a guest starring role, and then they end up becoming a main character. So he plays as a guest star in this season, but he turns into a main character later on. And if you read my post, his real world name is Killian Jones, and I didn't want to spoil his fairy tale name when I posted about it. So we're about to be introduced to an all new fairy tale character, and you already know his name, Killian Jones, and he's a brand new character to the entire series. and he was teased since the very beginning. Just didn't show up till episode 4. And so, anyway, so how convenient! It's also Father's Day, and this character is a father figure. And so, anyway, yeah. So it was, and so yeah. Like I said, there's going to be a couple characters on season 2 that will stick around for future seasons. This new character, I almost said his name. Whoops. This new character we're about to be introduced to is the only one from season 2 that stays the entire show, and actually has a love interest with our main character, Emma Swan. So anyway, he's like the second main character. It doesn't sound like it because you missed an entire first season, but it is. So we're in for a ride. Hang on. Just now I need to pull up Disney Plus so that we can start on time, because every time I just talk to you till 7, I'm like, I still have to pull up Disney Plus. Sorry about that, everybody. But yeah, just so we're starting on time, we'll wait until 7 o'clock. But if everyone could go to their Disney Plus, Hulu, DVD, whatever. I hope you have it pulled up. I hope you always have it prepared before you jump on this live stream. If you have it pulled up, feel free to push season 2, episode 4, but pause it for a second. We're gonna wait till 7. Mine's still loading, but I'll pause it as soon as it starts playing. So yeah, same thing with season 3. There's going to be another character in season 3 that sticks around for the rest of the show. But once you get past season 3, the cast pretty much stays the same, and they don't add people onto it. However, the very last season, there will be a big cast change. But aside from that, everyone pretty much stays the same. No one gets added. Anyone who shows up after season 3 is either just a one-off or half a season or even just one whole season. So anyway, so we have a few main characters who are very important to the entire show that don't show up in season 1. I know that's kind of weird, but they do show up in season 2 and season 3. So yeah, seasons 1, 2, and 3 are kind of like the introduction of the show, and then 4, 5, and 6 are the conclusion kind of the show. And then 7 is like a whole different thing. But yeah. So I can't wait to show you this new character. We're just 2 minutes away. But yeah, my episode has finally loaded. If your timestamp is at 0, there should be so on your left side, if your little timestamp says 0 seconds, or if you're on Disney Plus, I just have a white dot. Go to your right side. So that's your left side. Go to your right side, and it should say 43 minutes and 52 seconds left. 43 minutes and 52 seconds left. That's where my timestamp is at 0. So, if that's not the case, I did forget. Maybe some of you are not watching it on Disney Plus, so it might not say that because there's Disney Plus credits that are not part of the show if you watch it on DVD. Anyway, I didn't think about that as we were watching the first season and as we started season 2 last week. So sorry about that. But if you're watching the Disney Plus version, 43 minutes and 52 seconds, that's how much left there should be when we push play. But anyway, and luckily I gave you all that time before 7, because a lot of times, even when we try to start at 7, I give you like a minute and we start at 7:02, which is not bad, but it'd be nice to start right on the dot. 6:59, so we're going to start any second now. I don't have a clock on my computer. I mean, I do, but I don't have one that counts seconds. My phone counts seconds for me. We have exactly 20 seconds left until we start the show. I got nothing else to say. I mean, I already told you about my trip last week. That's what kept us starting late. I'm just ready to get started. Oh yeah, shoot, I forgot to wear my Storybrooke shirt. Some of you have not seen my Storybrooke shirt yet. Because all of you don't seem to stick around for the entire live stream. And I always keep showing this at the end. But, and I know it's 7 o'clock now, so we'll get started. But you can see, welcome to Storybrooke. I got this for my birthday. I hope everyone has had a chance to see it. I try to wear it in the live streams. I actually meant to get dressed, but I took a nap and woke up at 6:15, rushed to eat eat because I was hungry, rushed to eat cereal, go to the bathroom, and then get this set up. And then by the time I had this all set up, I didn't have time to get dressed. So anyway, I'm very bad at wearing it in our live streams, but I did wear it in a couple. It's just some of you might have not noticed. All right, we are going to start in 10 seconds when it's 7:01. We're going to start 1 minute late. Again, every time I try to start right on the dot, it never happens. That's okay. We're going to start at 7:01, which never usually happens. So, if everyone's ready, all right, 7:01. So we're going to start. In the past, it's always been at least past 7:02. So this is going to still be cool that we're starting at 7:01. So I'm going to push play in 3, 2, 1, now. And there's no recap. We haven't even have a title sequence yet. That was just a nightmare, everybody. She's worried of Rumpel slipping back into the darkness, which I don't think he's ever left the darkness to begin with. You'll know when you continue watching the show. It's just a nightmare. He's not trying to kill Grumpy. That's just Belle's greatest fears coming to her. Deepest fears, I should say. I'm going to say we haven't had a title sequence. Usually, if there's not a recap, we get a title sequence. It might still be coming. They just wanted to start with this nightmare of Belle. There it is. It's a ship. I bet you can guess who our new character is. Who owns a ship in Disney movies? Think of Disney movies of someone who owns a ship. Who has a ship in a Disney movie? In Disney, we get a Rumpel flashback. So this character had crossed paths with Rumpel before because yeah. Oh, Bellfire. That's when he was younger before Rumpel lost Bellfire. I don't want a wife who acts like that. To be fair, we never met Bellfire's mother in season one. That's not the new character I was referring to. I referred it as a him, and he was in that scene we just watched. So you could probably guess. They didn't reveal his name, so I'm still not saying it. But Go to a different village. Yeah. That's what they should have done, honestly. Fail. Well, you can probably guess that Rumple, he probably does want magic back, but he also Mhm. Well, Rumple may want magic back, but he has another reason for needing it because he can't cross the town line without it. And if he's gonna find his son, he's gonna need magic. But he shouldn't choose that over Belle, of course. All right, we're about to be introduced. He's a captain. That's one thing. Oh my goodness, Hook is so evil. I mean, Killian Jones is so evil. Oh my gosh, I can't call him by that. I'm calling him by something else. If you didn't hear what I just Yeah. He's a coward. He couldn't fight Captain Killian Jones. If you didn't hear what I said earlier, if you didn't hear me say I'm not I don't want to say it in case you didn't hear me. If you didn't hear what I said earlier, can you guess who he is? And if you did, pretend you didn't hear me say that. Who else in in Disney movies um has a pirate and he's captain of a ship? Not very many. I guess it's pointless at this point. They will introduce his name by later in the episode by the end because he has two hands right now, and this is the flashback of how he gets his hook. So yeah, these guys are minding dust so that they could get Emma and Snow back from the Enchanted Forest. But yeah, it's Captain Hook, everybody. I'm just gonna say it. Captain Hook, Peter Pan, Neverland. Captain Hook, on it on this episode. That's who I was referring to. We're also being introduced to Mila, but she's not that important. She's just Rumple's wife before Belle. Ooh, you never make a deal with the Dark One, or you could be in trouble if you fail at honoring the deal. That was Mr. Smee. Mr. Smee. And there's our new hero of the show, Captain Hook. Red Riding Hood and Belle. Cute. Belle is a good librarian because she loves her books. If you've seen Beauty and the Beast, that would be perfect for her. Yeah, and Regina closed it down, but now that the curse is broken, she has no control over that. All those bookshelves of books. Hmm. Mr. Smee kidnapping Belle. That's interesting. Mr. Smee is young, I know. In the cartoon, you're used to him having white hair. Yes, Hook met him before he became a Dark One. This is this is so the first flashback was before the Ogre Wars, or before the Bellfire was going to be slaved into the Ogre Wars, and then this part takes place after that. Hook knows who he's up against. An immortal man. Immortal man. Missing Belle. Where did she go? She got kidnapped by Smee. When they first, so Rumple and Hook, when they first met, Rumple was not immortal, and Hook could have killed him, but he let him go, and now he's a Dark One, and he can't be killed. Mayla's alive. She didn't die. She's alive. She didn't die. That's a bad father. Who wants a father like that? That's a joke. He didn't terrorize anybody. Mr. Smee. Bell doesn't ring a bell. Yep. The wolf. She can smell. That is where she went. She got kidnapped and went there. Uh-oh. That's not good. We haven't seen Cursed Belle because she was locked up all of season 1. Dust. Aha. They're arresting him. Yep. Bad father. You're going to jail. I can see Rumple being upset that his wife left him for someone else. That's called cheating, but mhm. But you shouldn't be too evil about it. Yeah, how could you leave your son? Exactly. You never loved him and yet you married him and created a family? Seriously? Oh wow. Rumple's angry. I get that, but that's no reason to kill your wife. There's not a reason to kill your wife. That's how he lost his hand. Rumple's the crocodile from Peter Pan. It's a human crocodile. And he has crocodile skinny like clothing on. Um and yes, see? There's the hook that he tried to kill Rumple with and it didn't work cuz he's immortal. And so he's going to use that hook to rename himself Captain Hook. That's how we got our Captain Hook on the show. And there's Mr. Smee. Uh-oh, the key. She lost the key. She lost the key. She wasn't going to be able to get out of those cuffs. Luckily, Rumpel saved her. Yeah, you're worse than Rumpel. You tried to throw your own daughter over the line. Mm. Rumpel didn't do anything wrong. He's just keeping secrets. And then Bill's father was being really violent here. Aw, it's the key to the library. Rumpel had it all along. She could be a librarian now that the curse is broken and Regina's no longer in control. Wow. I wonder what her I wonder what her curse name would have been if we got to see her more in season 1. Because they just call her Belle. She doesn't have a curse name. She does get a curse name actually in a later plot, but because there's going to be more than one curse. I won't spoil anything. That probably touched her. She'll probably go back to him. It is kind of a toxic relationship later on, though. She's never had a hamburger before because she hasn't been to the real world before. Belle and Rumple. Do you want them to be together? Rumple sounds sincere right now, but he is still going to make selfish decisions that Belle won't like. So her worst nightmare could come true. And of course, Rumple, we know he doesn't get to see his son in the flashbacks because otherwise, why would he be looking for him now? So, of course, he cut off the wrong hand from Captain Hook. Mm-hmm. There's Bellfire. We got to see him as a little boy. That was cool. What is Hook gonna do with that bean? There's Mela's body going into the sea. You can't bury her like a funeral. These guys live on water, so you have to drop her in the ocean. That's kind of gross, but ha! I told you, Mr. Smee. Captain Hook. Neverland. Peter Pan. Captain Hook. That's what a portal's like. Have Have you ever? Did you ever expect Peter Pan to come onto the show? The not or Captain Hook, I guess, is what we're getting this season. Peter Pan does show up eventually, but no, not for a while. Captain Hook and Mr. Smee. So if we got introduced to Captain Hook in the flashback, where is he in present day? You're about to find out. I said in my post that we weren't going to see him in present day. We were just going to see him in the past. So where is he in the present? Where is he in present day? In the Enchanted Forest, where Emma and Snow White are. Hello, Hook. Revenge on Rumpelstiltskin. That's not going to be cool when once Hook gets the Storybrooke, guys. There's going to be a lot of drama ahead of us when Emma and Snow get back to Storybrooke. Because Captain Hook's going to stay on the entire series. He's the one I was talking about. So he's going to make it to Storybrooke, guys. All right. Okay. So yes, get your next episode ready. But um rewind it when it starts playing, rewind it, pause it. There should be 43 minutes and 55 seconds if you're on the Disney Plus version. 43 minutes and 55 seconds left on the timestamp. Before we start the next episode, keep in mind, so something interesting, just like episode 2, this episode we didn't see Emma and Snow almost at all in the Enchant Forest. We didn't see presently at all, just flashback. And then it was only the very end that we get to see the Enchant Forest, but instead of Emma and Snow, like the end of episode 2 was, we saw Hook and Cora. So yeah, so that the episodes are kind of funky. At one moment you're focused on Emma and Snow and you don't get much of Storybrooke, and the next moment you're focused on Storybrooke, not getting much of Emma and Snow. And so, interesting of what they did for this season, and now we have to kind of go back and forth between two plots of people in the Enchant Forest and people in Storybrooke. So yes, our introduction to Captain Hook. If you don't like it, you better get used to it, because he's going to be around for a long time. Also, Mela, I forgot we haven't seen Mila before, and she pops in a few flashbacks here and there throughout the series. We got to see little Bellfire when he was much younger, before he had to fight in the Ogre's War, and Rumple became the Dark to stop that. That was pretty cool. So anyway, yes, happy Father's Day to Captain Hook. He's a father. You could probably guess why. Because if Rumple didn't kill Mela, it's most likely they were going to get married, and Hook would have been Bellfire's stepdad, right? They did mention in a later flashback, because Hook will cross paths with Bellfire at some point in a flashback, and he mentions that he would have gone back for him when he was old enough. He was too much of a kid to understand, but when he was old enough, they would Mela and Hook would have came back for him, and have him join the crew. But that never happened because Rumple killed him. That's why it's not a spoiler, because it never happened. But he did say that. So knowing that Hook would have been a stepfather if Rumple didn't kill Mela, that's what makes Hook a father. Because he could have been. And then I won't spoil anything, but he does actually become an actual father in the show later on. So yes, it's way later, seasons later, but Hook is a father. So happy Father's Day to Captain Hook, who is now on the show. And if you don't like it, get used to it, because he's not going anywhere. But yes, so this season he was guest starring, but they liked his acting so much that they wanted to keep him on as a main character. As main as Emma Swan is, who is the star of the show, he would be second star. It does make sense for him to be, because he's not in season 1, I know, but he is just that good. They had to keep him around. So right now he's only guest starring, so that means we won't see him in every episode yet. But when we get to season 3, we'll definitely see him in every episode, because it's at the end of season 2 that he becomes in every episode. He comes every single episode. Usually, I would say he's in every episode starting from season 2, episode 19. So until we get towards the end of the show, not the end of the show, the end of season 2, we'll see him a lot, almost every single episode. But yes, right now he's just guest starring because they didn't know how good he was. And so, anyway, and he plays as a villain. And so he doesn't become a good guy until the end of the season. Similar to Regina. Regina's going to try to be good now, but there's going to be a lot of backlash once Emma and Snow get back to Storybrooke. And so, yeah, Regina's redemption arc is not going to be complete till the end of the season as well. So we got two villains that are going to be potential good guys in the future. So just keep that in mind as we're watching season 2. These villains are going to be good guys and they're going to stick around. Cora, on the other hand, she's the villain that's going to come and go. She's not a main character. She's like Maleficent from season 1. So anyway, but like, some of the villains on the show are not redeemable, but some are. So, with that said, we're gonna get into the next episode. It's 7:48. Remember, we started 1 minute late, so that means we ended 1 minute later. Each episode's 43 minutes long, so we ended at 7:44, and I've talked to you for 5 minutes. So now it just went from 7:48 to 7:49. So yes, it's been officially 5 minutes now. So we're gonna start the next episode now. It's called The Doctor, and so we're gonna start it in five. Four, I usually start with three. I'm sorry. 3, 2, 1, now. Remember Daniel? Remember Daniel? Regina's fiance? These are flashbacks from these are flashbacks from last week. Recaps from last week, sorry. And there's Hut. So just recently with Emma and Snow, last we heard of them, Lancelot died and Cora killed Lancelot and posed him ever since. And she burned the wardrobe, which is why they weren't able to get home, if you remember. Now they're heading back into town to figure out what they can do to get back home. Just to remind you what happened last week. Oh wow. This is blocking the door. I didn't know
There's
that.
not much chicken by the way, but this is
What?
potatoes. There's not much chicken by the way.
Oh, so there's not enough chicken for seconds?
No.
But you got me 2 plates so you wouldn't have to come back.
I didn't. Mom did, but yeah.
Oh. Pay no attention to me. I'm just eating. Dinner just got ready. Watch the show. That's Captain Hook. He's posing as an injured guy. Why is he doing this? He's tricking him. Whoa, black and white lightning. Once Upon a Time got struck by lightning. Did you guys see that on the title sequence? Dr. Wells. We still don't know his fairy tale name, and we're about to find out in this episode. Mm-hmm. Why did you punch him then? You had it, Charming. You understood him. I guess it's fair though. Mm-hmm. 2 days without magic. That's awesome. How rude, Regina. True. Mhm. True. Well, she had a hard time starting magic as well. Mhm, mhm. Except for babies. They're born with a blank slate. This is before Regina turned evil, so she's having a hard time. It's after Daniel died, and it's after she married the king. I'm not sure. I don't think it's after the king died, though. It's in between. In between. It's in between marrying the king and before the huntsman. So she's just learning to be evil. That's why she can't crush right now. Daniel. He's out of his body. He can't let it go. Hmm. He's alive. What? We're about to be introduced to another character, but we've already seen him in season one. Dr. Well, we've seen him a lot in the present day, but he's never been showed up in flashbacks. So we're about to get his fairy tale story. There's so many fairy tale characters that some of them from season one don't get flashbacks till later seasons. Whoops. Mhm. That is true. Yep. Wait until the horse tells you. Nope. Oh, sorry. It says my battery's low, so I'm gonna plug it in. I had my cord over here, so I'd be prepared when that happens. Regina going down to her vault for what? Daniel's body's gone. His dead body's gone. Why do you... Okay, you're probably wondering because he died over 40, 50, 60 years ago. How is he not dust? Because bodies rot away after that long. Um, Regina used magic to preserve his body so it wouldn't do that. That's holding on to someone too tight. You gotta let them go. That's called not wasting my time. Now, there will be a time when someone wastes their time and Rumpel gives them a deep price for it. Wasting time comes with a price as well as magic comes with a price. But in this scenario, he's not punishing Regina for wasting his time. Mhm. Mhm. Exactly. Jamie Cricket said that too. You got to stop living in the past. Regina, how do you not know that? You have control over the kingdom. I guess, except Guess your husband, Snow White's father, could disagree. Bring back the dead, huh? Emma Hook. Emma Hook. What? Sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. Mhm. Emma has a superpower. She knows when people are lying. Ha ha. Can't get away with it. Mm. Mhm. You know, this is Jefferson. I told you that we only had one episode left with him last week. This is it. This is before he goes to Marvel. This is right before he leaves for Marvel, so we're not gonna see him again. But he's in this flashback before he had Grace, before he became the palace guard and made portals through his hat. Before all that. Mhm. Mhm. Well, remember, Cora was evil too, and she ripped out hearts like Regina did, so she has her own vault in the castle, just like Regina has a vault here in Storybrooke. Creepy. Mhm. Now we finally get to see who Dr. Whale was. This is him in flashback form after one season and 5 episodes. Mhm. Cora's vault. Speaking of monsters, people coming back from the dead are monsters. I'm surprised Regina never got paid the price for wasting Rumple's time. Yeah. Hmm. Like Cora, like mother, like daughter. Uh oh. Oh, that's not good. Henry's at the stables. This is bad. Oh, that horse hurt Henry. Ow. Daniel, don't hurt Henry. Emma knows when someone's lying. we just got introduced to him last episode. Let him die or bring him along. It's obvious what they're gonna do. Hook's gonna stay on this show, guys. We're not gonna kill him off like that. What does he want to go to Storybrooke? He wants to kill Rumpelstiltskin. That's no reason to free him. That's evil. That's no reason to free him. You don't want him to kill Storybrooke. You should let him die. That's wrong too. Oh no, Daniel. Daniel, he's mixing his memories with Henry now. He's gonna revenge Henry for killing him when it was Cora. He's a monster. Okay. I don't think it's gonna go well. Everything comes with a price, whether it's magic or not. Bringing someone back from the dead means they're monsters. You can't officially bring the person back. Mhm. Daniel, don't kill your fiance. Oh, a reunion, long last. Mhm. It's not gonna work. And there he is. He's back. It's time to let him go. Let go of the past, Regina. Time to move on. Time to move on. It's hard letting your fiance die. It didn't. It's not, he. To be fair, she didn't kill him a second time. He was dead to begin with. It's just bringing him back from the dead did not work very well. He only and even though Regina was able to bring him back for a few seconds, that wasn't good enough. It's not a trap. Mhm. Mhm. Now she's full on evil. She moved on from the past. She's gonna crush her heart. That random girl who has no involvement in the show. That's how we got our evil queen. Again, with the Daniel problem. Yep. And this is her doing the same thing to Archie, but not crushing anyone's heart, obviously. Now she's gonna be good. Mhm. She tells Archie everything. Mhm. Evil queen. You turned your student evil. He's the Mad Hatter. I was wrong earlier. Listen, exactly. Everything comes with a price. It's not just magic. Yep, the Mad Hatter. And that's the last we'll ever see of him. I mean, I lied earlier. He did have his magical portal back then, but it was before his daughter Grace came into the picture. He needs that heart to bring someone else back. I wonder who he brought back, guys. This is a great scene. This is where he admits that Rumpel was right. Magic is more powerful than science. Hmm. Not literally. He did go to the hospital and they couldn't help him. It's better than doctor treatment. I need magic, is what he just said. That's all he needed to hear. Victor, you know who he is now. He has his hand back. Because of magic. He needed magic. Magic is more powerful than science, more powerful than doctor treatment, more powerful than anything else. It's a black and white world. Where did all the color go, right? Creepy, right? It's like a Halloween episode in the middle of summer. His hand is moving. He's alive. Yep. Magic is more powerful than science, though. Magic is more powerful than science. I will argue that. He just had to admit it in the present day. He needed magic. He had to admit it that it was more powerful than what science had to offer. Oh, that wraps up this episode. Feel free to get the next one ready, but don't start it yet. Once it starts playing, I'll let you know the timestamp. Um, the timestamp, if you start from the beginning, it should have 43 minutes and 52 seconds remaining. So keep that in mind when we push play. If you have the Disney Plus version, of course. Um, Otherwise, 0 seconds. Make sure it's 0. Anyway, so yes, we just got introduced to another character. Not really. We've seen him all through season 1, but we've only seen him in his curse name, Dr. Well. We finally got our fairy tale flashback about him. Some characters from season 1, we don't get flashbacks till later seasons, along with people we don't see entirely, like Captain Hook, till later seasons. So yeah, he is Dr. Frankenstein, Victor Frankenstein. Have you seen that movie? It is a Disney movie. He brings his dog back from the dead. And so yeah, So now they're bringing that in here. Except the Disney fairy tale is different than the actual fairy tale. In the actual fairy tale, he brings back a human, and that's what the show is going off. Because the show, even though it's about fairy tales, it's not always Disney fairy tales. So that's why we have Rumpelstiltskin and the Victor Frankenstein bringing back a human from the dead, not a dog. So yeah, that was creepy, a little violent at times, but this next episode, it has less to do with dead people and hearts. So if you didn't like the one we just watched, we have a better episode coming up. Anyway, so yes, Dr. Frankenstein is his name. So we know who Dr. Well is now. He's one of the we knew most people in season 1, but he's one of the few characters that didn't get an introduction in season. He didn't get a fairy tale introduction in season 1. He was always just in the doctor scenes whenever David was in a coma or Henry was in a coma, or anyway, anytime they visit the doctor's office, he was only in those scenes, and we never got to know his fairy tale backstory. But yeah, Dr. Frankenstein, not even from the Enchanted Forest. Most of the characters we've seen throughout season one were from the Enchanted Forest. But now, because even Belle, it's a different kingdom, but even Belle's from the Enchanted Forest. And then, and what's her name? Abigail, Catherine, every single person we've learned in season one is from the Enchanted Forest. Even the Pink Fairy or Grumpy, right? This is one of the. This might not have been the first introduction because Hook's from Neverland. We got that last episode, but aside from that, this is one of the first flashbacks we see where we're not. Well, we were in the Enchanted Forest, but we get to meet characters that are not from the Enchanted Forest. I guess that's happened before when when Jefferson went to Wonderland. I guess we did see other worlds in season one, but yeah, but it doesn't happen often. And so now this is just another rare incident where we get to see someone who's not from the Enchanted Forest. So, what was interesting is that Regina's curse didn't just trap every single fairy tale character in the Enchanted Forest. It trapped characters from all over the universe, from different fairy tale worlds. And so anyway, so yes, and unlike Wonderland though, Dr. Frankenstein's world was black and white. There was no color. And so yeah, so that's why it's different than what we've seen in the past. And so anyway, that's kind of cool. Expect other worlds to be similar like that, not black and white, but different than a normal fairy tale world. So anyway, so that's good. That's that episode. We're gonna jump right into the next one. Um, so yeah, and then this next episode will be our last one for tonight, episode 6, called Tallahassee, which is actually a name of a state. So Tallahassee, what does that have to do with Once Upon a Time? It's not a fairy tale land, it's a real place in the United States. Well, we're about to find out. So yes, we've been introduced to Hook, we've been introduced to Dr. Frankenstein. So who might we be introduced to next? We're getting a lot of new fairy tale characters here. Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's just start the next episode. Shall we? All right. All right. So yeah, if you have your timestamp at 0, I feel like there was one more thing I was gonna say, but I don't remember. Um. Oh yeah, we did get a lot of more Emma and Mary Margaret this episode, but it was still focused in Storybrooke. This one, this one I know what this next one's going to be about, and we'll get more in Enchanted Forest this time. So yes, if you're tired of Storybrooke and you want to know what Emma and Mary Margaret are up to, I mean, we did kind of get that in the last episode, but we're going to get a heavy base episode right now about them. So take a break from Storybrooke. Let's see how Emma uh, and Snow go with trusting Captain Hook on getting them back home. See how it goes. Does anything backfire? Let's find out as they climb the beanstalk. And don't you know Jack and the Beanstalk? Do you remember that fairy tale? You could probably tell that's where we're going next. We're going to see a big giant. So another fairy tale character we haven't seen before, but he isn't sticking on. He's not going to stick to the show forever. So, not like Captain Hook. So, and then, oh, I know what I was going to say now. So, Emma and Hook's dynamic, you could probably see it. You'll catch on. But there's going to be a love story there. So, anyway, are you a fan of Emma and Hook? Do you think they would make a good couple in the future? And then, what about Rumple and Belle? Let me know. All right, we're gonna start the next episode. Sorry, guys, I talked for 6 minutes now. Last time, between 4 and 5, it was 5 minutes. I talked 6 minutes now. It's putting us behind schedule, so sorry about that. But we're gonna start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. That's from season 1. That's from season 1. That recap there. Remember this guy from season 2? From the first episode? The random guy in New York? You saved me. Henry woke up from his sleeping curse as well. As you see, that's true. So you better get there first if you want Hook on your side. Hmm. Flashback. We've had so many Enchanted Forest flashbacks. Have you ever wondered how Emma grew up in the real world? We're finally gonna get a flashback about Emma's not real childhood because she came on her 28th birthday, and this was 11 years ago. So she's 17. So yeah, I guess she's still a child. Let's see Emma's childhood, but technically she's also kind of an adult as well. We do get flashbacks of her as an adult because she's been an adult for 10 years before coming to Storybrooke. But yeah, I guess she is. This is her childhood, kind of on the run. And there's the guy that we saw from the beginning of season 2. And our title sequence is a beanstalk growing behind Once Upon a Time. All right, I should shut up now. Mhm. Yep. Now you're getting pulled over. He's on the run too. A thief. Two thieves fall in love. Hook. Yep, Hook. I told you the dynamic between him and Hook. It had to be them. He was hoping it would be her because he has a thing with blondes. He loves people with blonde. Speaking of blonde, me. Uh huh. Hook could be a bad guy. So don't keep your eyes off him, Emma. Time to climb a beanstalk. Mm-hmm. It's a big beanstalk. Yep. Orphan's an orphan. Well, we all know that's a lie. Henry's father. Remember? Anyway, remember this guy from the beginning of season two? He was a random guy, and I told you he'd come back later. He was important. I hope you didn't forget him. What? It's a swan, like Emma Swan. Aw. They're thieves! Don't steal, that's bad, kids. Don't do what they're doing. Mhm. Only 1 hour till housekeeping, you better hurry. Oh. They've been together for a while since we first saw them on the road. Neverland is a joke. That's funny. In Tallahassee, Neverland. Neverland is mentioned a lot here, and we will see Neverland eventually, but not now, not in this season. Tallahassee. That's the title of this episode. That's the title of this episode. Mhm. Aw, cute. Mhm. Yep, he's charming, just like your Philip. They finally made it to the top. He only has one hand, so he has to use his mouth. Yep. Yeah, you were. Emma, admit it. Henry's father. Uh, Henry's father. Sorry, no. Henry's father, Neil. Neil. This is Neil. Not Belle. Of course not. That's not lesbian. Do not live a criminal life, guys. That's not good. Man, this is how they fell in love, though. Imagine your parents were criminals when they fell in love. That's weird. Hopefully, your parents are not criminals. Or maybe they're not, but hopefully they weren't when they first met. This is our introduction to another character, the giant at the top of the beanstalk. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Not sleeping powder. Knocking out sleeping powder. hmm Yeah. You're being thieves again. You're stealing a compass from a giant. This is different though than stealing from stores in real life. Hopefully you don't do any of that for any kids watching. Not a good idea. Snow Ice been through that. in flashbacks after she woke up from the sleeping curse when she got married. She's had those dreams. No one. Emma's gone. With Hook. Let's hurry. You don't know when he's gonna wake up. Mhm. He's dead. He's dead. The Jack's dead. Ladies first. Emma, not men. Now they're gonna sell the watches that they stole. Mhm. Mhm. Someone's found you. August. We haven't seen him at all this season, except briefly in episode 2. Pinocchio, what have you been doing all this time? She has a destiny to break a curse. It's his typewriter. What did he type in there that made him believe in magic? What did he see that made him believe in magic, right? Doesn't that make you wonder? You can't just make someone believe in magic like that. What was in that? What did August type on his typewriter? He's listening. There's a curse. And it needs to be broken, which it did in the end of season 1. Emma's the key. Yep. He's gonna hear the whole story. Emma got arrested and went to jail. Remember, Henry was born in jail. This is how it happened. Her Henry's father abandoned him. All because Emma needed to break a curse. Obviously, it wasn't on purpose. It was part of destiny, like Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ coming to Joseph Smith kind of destiny. I would say it was destined. He was like an angel saying, prophesied that Emma was going to break a curse, so Neil couldn't be involved. Moderna, Canada, or something, whatever that said. Mhm. But remember Pinocchio? He fell into temptation, which is what turned him back into wood in season 1. Which he did. He did. Remember season 2 when we started? We saw this random guy in his apartment, and there's a postcard that said Storybrooke broken. Now you're connecting the dots. That's that was Henry's father. Giant, don't kill our main character. Nah, just bite him. Yep. Mhm. Mhm. Didn't you listen to Hook? There was only one. Emma. He is alone. Emma can understand that. Emma was alone her whole childhood because Snow and Charming gave her up. Emma's one of the good guys. You want your Captain Hook back. I told you they're in love. Well, it's because a guy left him. Emma comes from experience. A guy set her up and she learned from that experience and doesn't want to risk Hook doing the same thing to her. Understandable what Emma did because she fell in love once and we just saw the whole flashback. No, she's not. Milan, don't destroy the beanstalk. Emma made it. Emma made it. Yep. Uh, Security correction facility 11 years ago. Where's the money? Like I said, Pinocchio had temptations. He was being selfish, unbrave, and false. He wasn't being true, remember? That's why he turned back into wood in season one. And even the curse being broken didn't fix that. So that explains it. Pinocchio used that money on himself and lied to Neil about giving it to Emma. That's why she only got the car key. David's like, I've heard this stream before from Snow White. Charming did the same thing to Snow White. He recognized that dream. You could tell from his facial expressions. So, Henry, that's the end of the episode. So Henry also was in a sleeping curse. Remember from the end of season 1? And Emma broke it. Not just the sleeping curse, but the entire curse. So Henry's having the same nightmares now because Aurora and Henry woke up around the same time. And if they're having the same dream, and they both saw each other in the fire and thought it was creepy, think about it. If Henry's having a dream and you're in and Aurora's having the same dream and they're in the same dream together, they might have a way to communicate to each other on how to get back home. That's important. That's what this show's doing. So now that they're both having nightmares, maybe they could talk amongst themselves in the nightmare and figure out a way home together. I know they already have their plans. Charming's digging out mine dust to get Mary Margaret, Snow White, and Emma home, while Emma and Snow are also getting a compass on their own way home. But they're two separate plans. What if one of them backfires? They can communicate and tell the other that they have a plan, right? Right? So, yeah, sorry, I don't mean to spoil. I'm not saying one of them's going to backfire, one of the two plans. But anyway, hint, hint. So yeah, they have a plan, and everything's coming together. I did forget to mention, the curse took all of season 1 to break, right? Not everything's going to be like that. Emma and Snow are not going to be in the Enchanted Forest for all of season 2. I should have mentioned that. So we're not going to be doing this jumping forth between Storybrooke and Enchanted Forest. I mean, we will flashback wise, but in present day, we're not going to keep jumping 2 storylines here. Flashback, you can count as 3 storylines. Emma and Snow will make it back with, in plenty of time before we finish season 2. There's a lot of other things to go on, and so, they're not going to be separated for that long. So yes, the storyline is coming close to its end. We will, however, stop for tonight and we'll finish that next week. But yes, there's still a lot of season 2 to go. Because there's 22 episodes a season. Shows nowadays don't do that. But this was back then when they did. So, yes, when you watch a TV show nowadays, there's like only 10 episodes and you'd be almost done. But this is 22 episodes, so no, season 2 is just getting started here. But yeah, now we're in 6 episodes in, and yeah, can't wait to start episode 7 next week with you guys. We wasted our Q&A time a little bit, so we started at 7:01, and then at 7:44 we talked till 7:49, which mathematically that puts us at 8:32, so we're 2 minutes behind schedule. But then I talked to you for 6 minutes instead of 5. And we started at 8:38, which puts us at 9:21. So that only gives us like 9 minutes to talk. So, not like you guys do Q&A anyway. Oh, someone did say hi, Ben, about an hour ago. So that's the only comment I have from Facebook, is I have an old companion from the Lane, Utah mission who just said hi, Ben. So that's it. I'm gonna reply and just say hi. This is just someone from my mission. Okay. So that's gonna wrap up for tonight. But let me see YouTube really quick. YouTube, there's no comments whatsoever. I remember this live stream, I had comments from one of my cousins that watches the show, but he hasn't been commenting since. But anyway, so yes, each episode we got introduced to new characters that are going to stick around for season 2, but only one's going to stick around for the whole show, and that's Captain Hook. We also got introduced to Mayla. We'll see her in more flashbacks. We got introduced to like 2 characters per episode. So Mela and Hook's sticking around for the entire thing. Mela we'll just see in a few flashbacks whenever it's relevant that we get a Rumple flashback before he was the dark one. And then in episode 5, we got Dr. Wells, which we already knew him, but we didn't know his fairy tale life. And so we got to know him as Dr. Frankenstein, Victor Frankenstein. You know, if you ever watch Dr. Frankenstein on TV or Disney or the Disney version, which he just brings back a dog, not a human. And then okay, this one's not a new character, but he didn't get introduced till towards the end of the season 1 anyway, the Mad Hatter. Even though he's not a new character, this was his last episode. So I guess this doesn't count as a new character, but it's like the opposite. It's his departure episode from the series. He doesn't make a single cameo or comeback ever. They don't even mention his name, except for every Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. They mention his absence because he's from Wonderland, right? Mad Hatter. So anyway, he does have some reference in the Wonderland series, but he's not mentioned in this main show at all for the rest of the series. So yeah, so because of his departure, that's the second character from episode 5, even though we've seen him before. I guess this is the second time we've seen Daniel, too. That actor also doesn't come back, because they're not going to try bringing him back from the dead again. And that's probably for the best, especially if we have kids watching the show. Let's see. Episode 6, we were introduced to our giant from Jack and the Beanstalk. That he will come back into play, but but like everyone else, he's just a come and go. We will see him for the rest of season 2, but like Mela, like in recurring flashbacks or, in a couple cameos, right? But he's not like Hook where he sticks around through every episode. Season 2, we're actually going to have some episodes without Captain Hook because this is when he was just guest starring. He becomes a main character around season 2, episode 19, and that's when we'll start seeing him every episode. But generally speaking, Hook's for the rest of the show. And Mela and the Giant and the Beanstalk, no, they're just making a few cameos throughout season 2. So, Mela might have more cameos in later seasons, but the Giant is only a season 2 character, and we will see him again though since season 2 just got started. We have 22 episodes, and we only got through 6, so we will see this Giant again. But and we'll get a flashback about Jack, that skeleton that we saw in the Giant's castle. We will get him. We will get him. But we will get a flashback of him. But yeah, the Giant, and then who's the other character from episode 6? Oh, Henry's dad. Neil and Emma. Partners in crime. So, with that said, Henry, yes, he was born in jail, if you remember from season 1. And now we know how that ended up being. Because he set up Emma. Now, I know that sounds bad. You don't expect your spouse to betray you like that. But Emma doesn't know the whole story. It's going to be an emotional reunion when these two meet again. But you don't know the whole story, right? He gave her up because it was part of her destiny. If let's just say an angel came to you and told you to let your spouse go to jail, would you do it? I don't know. Pinocchio was like an angel in a sense, watching out for Emma and making sure she was making the right choices. Though he wasn't making the right choices himself. He used that money that Neil gave him for his own temptation problems. But despite August turning back into wood, that's all season 1. We moved on. So but despite his sins and temptations, he was good at one thing, and it was keeping Emma on the right path. I guess if you're religious at all, it's the straight and narrow path, kind of thing. He's just trying to keep Emma on the straight and narrow. So that's what I was trying to refer to. And so anyway, he's trying to do that, and so Neil had to leave her and let her go to jail. He made the right choice, so that Emma could be worthy and righteous to break the curse. So anyway, so yeah, and again we got to see Pinocchio in his human form again, because we did see him as a wooden character in episode 2. Remember when we saw him lying in his bed after the curse broke, And then when Archie came to find him later, he left his apartment. Anyway, he's out somewhere. He's avoiding his father now that the curse is broken because he feels like a failure. That will come into play this season later on. But yeah, we got reintroduced to a bunch of characters we didn't see in the first 3 episodes of season 2. You know, it's been season 1 since we've seen them, or we haven't even seen them at all, and it's their first time. Dr. Well, not a father. The giant, he has siblings, but not a father. In fact, his father's dead. We'll find out in a later flashback. But the one person who gets a happy Father's Day here, that's in all 3 episodes. He's kind of in episode 5, but only in a couple scenes when they tie him up to a tree and send the ogres to almost kill him. That's about it. You know, when he poses as a wounded man. Anyway, to gain their trust, right? He even, you know, unlike most revealed story plots, you know, where you don't find this out till later, he revealed, you know, Emma, because she has the power to know when someone's lying, you know, they were able to avoid his trap, you know, because, you know, his plan was to gain their trust so they can learn about Storybrooke, and then he could steal the compass for Cora, you know. Obviously that plan didn't work out, you know, and it's kind of cheesy, you know, for a TV show. Other TV shows done it before. It's kind of obvious. They made a little twist on this one, where instead of going with the plot, Emma already figured out what Hook was doing and was one step ahead of him by tying him up to a tree. And yeah, you know, luckily Hook, you know, they decided to save his life. And luckily Emma made the right choice to keep the compass and tie Hook up so he doesn't gain the upper hand. So she avoided the whole trap. So it wasn't really it was more of a plot wasted than a plot. So, I mean, in a good way, it was a plot wasted thing. You know, Emma was one step ahead, and, you know, sometimes if you're tired of the same old storylines, there's one way to twist it up. Have the characters already know what's going on so that they could stop the inspicious Hook from succeeding in his plans. So, anyway, he was only a few scenes in episode 5, and then he was in episode 6 a lot, helping Emma get the compass. But yeah, he will make the Storybrooke one way or another, whether that's with Cora or them. He will make it back. He's gonna stay on the show for a while. But other than that, yes, out of all these characters that I just mentioned that we have never either seen before or knew this part of them or haven't seen since season 1, Hook is the only one that's been in all 3 of them. And he is the father of Father's Day. He becomes a father later on the show, so happy Father's Day to him. What a perfect time to start being introduced to Captain Hook on Father's Day. He's a great character. He will be one of those people who goes from villain to hero. You know, so don't worry. He might be evil now, but you can get used to him later. So yes, so Emma has a right to technically trust him, but understanding where she came from with Neil and betraying her trust, she, you know, you can understand she didn't want to do the same with Hook. So that's why she couldn't let her guard down. And so, yes, so Hook's plan did fail to gain their trust and steal the compass for Cora. But now you can never know. Was he going to succeed on that plan or actually become a good guy? I believe you can't just become a good guy overnight. So I think they avoided a failure there by tying him up with the giants. Or the giant, because there's only one. So anyway, Hook will eventually get out of there. He'll meet back up with Cora. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to happen. Henry and Sleeping Beauty are both having nightmares. But it's going to be it's an important key to try to figure out how to get everyone home. So don't forget those nightmares when we continue our episodes next week. And with that said, it is 9:34. We are past overtime with our live stream. We will end the stream about right now. So if you're still watching, have a great night. We'll see you next week for episodes 7, 8, and 9. We're going to finish up this storyline, and there's a lot more coming this season. So that's why we can't have Emma and Snow stay in the Enchant Forest all season long. It's not season 1, guys. It's not going to take that long to return home. There's a lot of other plots ahead our way. But yeah, you know, I like the idea that Hook's plan was defeated before he can even start it. That's pretty smart, unlike other TV shows. We got to see him in all 3 episodes. I hope you like Captain Hook. If you don't, get used to it, because he's going to be around for a long time. And with that said, I'm going to end the live stream. So, everyone on Facebook, going to end yours first, since I started YouTube first, and since Facebook deletes my live streams after a month, I'd rather have most of the recordings saved on YouTube than, all of the recordings saved on YouTube than most of it saved on YouTube. So, whatever. Anyway, forget that I said that. I'm going to end the Facebook live stream. Have a great night. See you next week. Bye. And for everyone on YouTube that is still watching, wait a second. Okay, now Facebook's done. Okay, now for everyone on YouTube that are still watching, happy Father's Day. Have a great night. God be with you till we meet again. That Facebook live stream was 44 minutes. This one's going to be 46 minutes because it was on first and it's going to be on last. So it's a little longer than the Facebook version. All right. Well, have a great night. Bye, y'all. Oh, I didn't push the end button. There we go.